And sometimes I believe that we actually sabotage our success because we're so not used to feeling those good feelings. We're way more used to feeling the negative emotions. So we do something quote unquote right or good. We actually start to feel really good. Then that's like out of whack. Like something has gone wrong here because I'm not used to feeling this way. And subconsciously sabotage our success. It's just really fun. Oh, Michaela says that's exactly what the author talks about. Let me just mention the author because I didn't read your whole thing. The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks. The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks. Okay. Let me get to my notes because I made notes for this class because I want it to be amazing. Okay. There are many reasons why I think we're pretty bad at celebrating ourselves. Let's just talk about them for a second without making ourselves feel too yucky. Okay. So I'm curious what you think. Like, why do you think we're bad at celebrating ourselves? The reasons that I came up with are ADHD often comes with chronic underachievement, rejection, low self esteem. We're just not used to it. We're just not used to like overperforming. We're used to underperforming. So it's just like we're actually used to doing things wrong, not right. Many of us were raised in environments that praised outcomes, not effort. So it doesn't matter if you tried, you still didn't get it done. And so you don't deserve praise. Um, or maybe you just were raised in a family that like there was an absence of praise. Um, and that can be really interesting because you may have heard things from your parents like, don't get too big for your britches or you're too big for your boots or whatever it is, like in your neck of the woods. We're just like, settle down. You don't need to be so prideful, which is interesting. Which is interesting. I really, really hope that I help my kids to just talk about themselves like their wins and just be like, yes, you are amazing. That's so good. Um, we also have these beliefs that we talked about a little bit earlier that are like, that like it wasn't a big deal. Like that I don't deserve to celebrate myself for small things. Anyone could have done that. My son says this to me um often. If it's something that anyone could have done, I don't deserve praise for it. And he will even tell me, "Mom, chill. Don't praise me or compliment me for cleaning my room. I don't deserve that. I like that's something that anyone can do and I should have done it a long time ago. So don't get all excited about me doing it." And I'm like, first of all, I will get excited about what I want to get excited about. And I know what an effort it is for you to do this. So actually, I am going to get excited about it. I really, really am. Okay. I'm going to get super excited about it. Um, and then the attacks that come. So this is another reason why we're not that good at celebrating ourselves because often we actually have like shame spiral attacks that come. We accomplish it and immediately you should have done it faster. You should have done it better. It shouldn't have taken you so long. It shouldn't have been that hard. Why are you feeling good about something that anyone else can do? Like, this is easy for most people. Why was this so hard for you? So I think actually we're pretty mean to ourselves and I don't like it. Oops, wrong way. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I would so much rather that we're like super sweet to ourselves and acknowledging the effort. And we're going to talk about this, acknowledging the effort that goes into it. Bessie says, I used to say that, and only recently I've started to believe people when they say, no, actually, no one else could have done that or done it in a way that well. Yeah. Which was a crazy realization. That's amazing, Bessie. Good for you. Mm. Yep, agree with you, Michael. So Michael's asking, could high expectations of ourselves factor in here? Yes, and that's also making me think of like a perfectionistic mindset. Like the perfectionistic mindset of like these like insidious perfectionism thoughts, right? Like we should be perfect. Anything less than perfect is unacceptable. The fact that I was imperfect in the doing of the thing means that I don't deserve to be celebrated for it. Bullshit. Okay. I'm just going to call bullshit on that. I'm going to whisper it so that if your kids are in the car while you're listening to this, they don't hear it. Okay. But we're just going to call bullshit on that. All right. All right. Um, I'm curious, could we just stop and do a pause and take a little inventory? Can you take a belief inventory? Can we just kind of scan what are the beliefs that come up for you? Can you are you able to recognize like, oh yeah, this is it for me? And some of you have already mentioned it. Um, but I'm curious, like, what is it specifically for you that inhibits or makes it difficult for you to celebrate? Some of you have said you just forget. You just forget that it's a thing. It's kind of like, okay, on to the next. And that is extremely valid. Comparison to others, that's such a good point. Yeah, Maddie said, I don't think I deserve to be celebrated, literally like the exact situation you described with your son. That makes me sad. Steve said, thoughts like, this is not for me, only other people get it. Yep. Sorry, the chat. Okay. The other kids get jealous. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that as we move through the class here because so I'll give you a spoiler. One of the things we're going to talk about is making sure that when we're sharing wins, we're sharing with safe people who are actually able and have the capacity to celebrate with us because not everyone does, which is a heartbreak. Jordan said, I definitely have the belief that I don't deserve praise or attention, especially from myself. That's interesting. There's still so much more to do, so it's never enough. Who resonates with that? I feel like that would be a lot of us. You accomplish the thing, but you're like, I don't even have time to feel good about this. There's still so much more to do. There's never enough. Blaze said, I can't take credit for the wins. I don't feel like I deserve it, and I don't even know what I would do to celebrate. Interesting. The thing I accomplished isn't a big deal because it didn't have the dopamine hit that I expected. We should put a pin in that. We should definitely put a pin in that because we're kind of waiting. Like I did the thing. Now I should feel amazing. Yeah. 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 So good. Yeah. Steve said, what would the other kids say if I shine? The shame outweighs the feeling of pride, shame for how hard it was to accomplish. Yep. There's always a lot to do. I don't have enough time to celebrate. I mostly start worrying about the next task instead of celebrating. It feels selfish, and selfish is bad, isn't it? Friends, is selfish bad? Great question. I still don't celebrate the hard work I did in college and getting my degree. I got pushback as a child for being proud of myself, was called vain or spoiled and enjoying good things out loud. Who can relate to that? was called vain or spoiled. For enjoying good things out loud. Yes. So many of us, and again, like, I don't mean to always go back to parents, but like sometimes it just always goes back to parents. That's not, it's just, sometimes it just does. Like when you are a child and a child is naturally celebratory and the parent says, don't get so excited. My parents would say that to me all the time. Don't get your hopes up. Don't get your hopes up. Don't get your hopes up. Why? It feels good to have my hopes up. Stop being so excited. Why? Christine said, I heard, who do you think you are? Yeah. For me, it was an experience. This is Jordan. For me, it was an experience I had repeatedly everywhere. Parents, siblings, peers, teachers. People would see the depth of my joy or pride and react as if it was bad or wrong. Yeah. Feeling good is a sin, apparently, says Amber, right? Okay, so some of y'all have some stuff to unpack with your therapists, right? Some of y'all have some stuff to unpack with your therapists. For me, as your coach, what's important is that we're just noticing. Oh, I see a connection here. I see a connection. It's like show and tell. Exactly, Tamara. This is show and tell. This is where we're like, oh, wait a second. I see a connection here. Then you go serve that connection on a silver platter to your therapist. That therapist will be so excited. I remember a specific time when my mom said, don't get so excited. And guess what? Now I never get excited. So, therapist, work your magic. Steve said, my confidence would scare my partner. Yeah. So some of y'all, it might not be parent stuff. It might be more like relational things from, more recently. Okay. A moment of silence here. This is from Emily, and I think it's a good word. It's a wise word. A moment of silence for all of us here struggling to experience joy and pride in ourselves. Let's just take a moment. There's 72 of you in the room. I'm just curious, does anyone here feel like they're actually good at celebrating themselves? Is possible. And if so, like, I want to celebrate that. That's amazing. But all I'm hearing, right? When it comes to certain things, that's great. Sometimes it's getting better a little. It's taken years. I'm improving. That's something to celebrate. Yes, that's so good. Oh, that's so good. Okay. Let me just sell you on it. Can I sell you on it? So like we've had a moment where we're like, wow, this is really hard. Some of us had harder childhood experiences than others. Doesn't matter. This is not like the trauma Olympics. We don't need to like compete, but just know that, like, for those of you who had particularly difficult relationships with your parents, it might be even more so. It might be even more difficult for you to celebrate yourself. And that's just something to like key in on. Okay. For those of you who had, relatively lovely upbringings, it might be hard for you to celebrate yourself, but you might not experience the degree of difficulty as much. And that's beautiful and wonderful. Okay. Beautiful and wonderful. Um, so let me sell you on the idea of celebrating yourself. And when I'm talking about it here, I definitely I used the word celebrate in the title of the class, but really it's just like, could you just not hate yourself when you do something? Could you just take a moment of feeling satisfied? Could you just take a second to feel proud? Could you take a moment and notice the accomplishment and sit with it like, damn, I did that. I did that thing. I did what I said I wanted to do. Is it oh Valerie asks, is it okay to be proud? It is not just okay. It's encouraged. Here's for those of you who grew up in maybe like religious culture, there was a strong current of um do not feel proud, do not be proud, do not be proud. And I just want to speak to that for a moment. So, this might not apply to everyone. Not everyone here grew up in religious culture. Although, if you grew up in America, these kind of like ideals are kind of woven into a lot of the fabric of our culture, whether or not you personally grew up religious. You know what I'm saying? So, pride is one of those things. And what I want to differentiate between is someone, in my opinion, the way I interpret it, the way I read and think about the Bible is when um, the Bible says, do not be proud. The meaning there is don't think of yourself as better than others. Don't look down your nose on others. It is not about your internal experience necessarily. It is more about your the way that you're positioning yourself internally with others. Oh, I'm so much better than you now because I did XYZ. Or I'm so much I deserve more than you because I blah blah blah. Or you don't matter, but I matter, right? So it's like looking down on others, making more of yourself. And yes, you're better than God, right? But what I'm talking about is can you feel a sense of pride in your accomplishment? I feel good about what I accomplished. It doesn't make me better or worse than anyone else. And for those of you who are religiously minded, I did it with God's help, right? I didn't do it with the absence of him. I did it with his help. So it's like, think about pride in a different way. It's like, I can be so satisfied and proud of something that I accomplished and give credit where credit is due.